Hello again, fellow moms. It's Sarah. Um, this is my second portion of my intro. I didn't disclose my children's ages. I don't really remember. My first one is 23, and she's out on her own, doing her own thing. And my other one is 17. I think I did disclose that. I have the joy of having my youngest one on vacation with Grandma and Grandpa this week, so lots of chores to be done around the house that I don't usually get to do. Today's Sunday, so Sunday fun day. I don't know if laundry's really that fun, but oh well, that's when I get it done so that we can have all of our Leos and trunks and all that good stuff ready to go for the week. But I don't have to worry about that this week since we're going with Grandma and Grandpa. A lot of people ask me questions about when you first go to team, how things are supposed to work, what happens if you miss a practice. Obviously there's no makeups for when you get on team because they run one class time only for whatever level that you're on. So it is very important that you show up for the class times that you are supposed to be at. In my opinion, if you don't, the more you miss, the further behind you get. And it's kind of like learning how to read in kindergarten. If you go every single day of the week to kindergarten and you miss one day, then whatever you're supposed to be retaining gets lost a little bit, and you have to backtrack a little bit and get caught up to everyone else. So keep that in mind for vacations and so forth, especially when it comes close to season time, if your first level of team competes for the season. It's a package deal. It's not just the kid that wants to do it, the parent has to want to do it too, and that's very important in my aspect and my thought process. I have gotten to be very lucky to work at my daughter's gym. I've been there for 2 years this month. I'm the director of the preschool program. But before that, I sat at an office and did accounting or, did some kind of bookkeeping job. And yes, it was hard to figure out how to get the kids back or to gym. I could always pick them up, of course, but it was sometimes an issue. And so we had to start carpools, and that works very well, especially if you get to know some of the parents. And obviously it gets you to be more informed with the parents. So it's always good to get different things together in your little group. And even if it's not your group per se, just being in touch with some of the other parents on other levels is good too, because then you can always know what's going on for the next step up. We start our gym at level 2. I have figured a pre-team out that comes from the preschool, and then they go to level 2, but we don't compete level 2 except for the one meet that we host at the it's an invitational, so it doesn't really count, even though it is still USAG certified. So getting these girls prepared to understand what is required of them to go to 2. I have all kinds of girls go through my program, but not everybody is going to team. Not everybody that wants to go to team makes it to team. Sometimes I have to send them to rec, sometimes I have to send them to Excel, and sometimes the parents want it more than the kids do. And I have been finding out what exactly this means this past year. I've always heard that expression. Now I totally understand that expression. So sometimes you have to really ask yourself, who wants this more, mom or the kid? Even for boys, it's not just, I'm not just speaking for girls. You know, they can have all the talent in the world, but if they don't want to put in the work, then you're just asking for something to happen that's not going to happen. You're just going to frustrate the child by pushing. So that is, I think, very critical in a decision making if you want your child to be a competitive anything, really. When you are asked or invited to try out for team or invited to move to team, I would definitely look at the long term, not just this year, not just this month. Look at the long term. Look at what you're really getting into, because it just gets more involved. It gets more money, but more so, more involved with time commitments, and then eventually traveling, and eventually, you know, showing up for meets and extra practices, and, you know, maybe missing that birthday party, and maybe missing that sleepover. And you have to ask yourself, you know, is my child going to be okay with this? And most children are, that really want to go. And there's some children that don't want to. And so, and you know, a birthday party every now and then is fine. A sleepover every now and then is no big deal. You know, into the school, awards, graduations, whatever, that's fine. Just not every weekend. Not every, you know, day of the summer. I would not miss more than one time a month, honestly speaking. So if you're going to go on a 2-week vacation in the middle of summer, be sure that you are very open on communication with your coaches. Really, that's all I have to offer for today. My little tidbit, but you can always leave a comment and ask any questions that you want, any questions that you feel. I'm going to go and plant a couple flowers before the sun goes down for today, and have some time to myself and do my laundry. Yay. Well, happy Sunday.